Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that this guy follows. I'm going to give you my financial opinions, and if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. You can sign up using the word discount in the coupon code. And we do go over individual companies for all these different sectors, especially uranium. Looks like uranium's looking really good. So we do go over a lot of the uranium companies, and you can see my strategies, my portfolio, and the companies that I own. So let's dive in here and see what's going on with the markets. The DXY, it's holding on strong still. It looks like it's kind of hitting its head on a little bit of resistance. That's why we're going sideways at the moment. But overall, we've had a pretty big move to the upside. I think yields have something to do with it. Yields have been on a tear to the upside, and they are continuing to move to the upside. So the dollar, I think, will remain elevated or strong when yields go up. When yields go back down, I do think that this will crash back down to the downside whenever yields decide to calm down. So that's what I'll say there. Yields are what are driving this relative strength. And this here does look like the Batman pattern, where it's kind of an end of trend, and it's not a huge one, so it's probably just a smaller one that we've come down back to the support level. And right now, it is very yield dependent. So looking at yields, the 2-year yield is ripping to the upside. So what I see in this is further upside in yields on the 2-year. On the 10-year, it's ripping to the upside, looks very strong on the daily basis. And the 30-year is ripping. So the entire yield curve is moving higher. We've broken out of this downtrend line on the 30, on the 10, it's broken. The 2-year, it's broken as well. Everything's broken. It's all moving up. Yields, that is. Why are yields moving up so fast? Because nobody wants to hold, well, a lot of people in the quantity of bonds that are available do not want to hold bonds. It doesn't mean everyone is selling them. It means that the buyers are being overwhelmed by selling pressure. There's a lot of bonds that need to be sold. And if quantitative easing doesn't come in here, yields will continue higher. The TYX-TNX ratio is still at a very low level. Generally speaking, this is a great time to add into precious metals when people aren't looking. That is generally when I load up. And I know a lot of people, where is platinum gone? Where is silver gone? Guys, I don't care what you say. I'm still going to do my own thing. And at this ratio, this curve inverting the way it is, what I do is I start to buy in this general vicinity of when things get low. You just load up. You don't have to worry about it. You just buy. We're under the cost curves for silver and for platinum. So we're at a very good level for precious metals and where this yield curve is at from a long-term perspective, if you're a long-term investor, which to me it seems like not many people are. Bond prices still getting just smoked to the downside. Just smoked. Boom, boom, boom. Obviously, prices will go up when yields relax. When will that be? Don't know. To me, it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. So I think bond prices will continue to be low or go lower. So we could see it probably go down or sideways at some point. And it's going to have to base out whenever it does base out. And we're not basing out yet. I'm just saying when it does. It will take some time, I think. We have a lot of momentum behind this move. Gold up despite increasing yields and a flat dollar. What does this mean? I am hopefully looking for, and hopefully it does come, this to break apart from yields and go higher like it did in the 1970s. I'm waiting. And where we're at, even if it doesn't happen, I think we're in a good location to be looking at precious metals because of the yield curve inversion and how it's all inverted. When that yield curve uninverts, if there is some sort of problem in the markets and it doesn't uninvert, I think precious metals, especially gold, will do very well. Silver, ripping it today, 2.5%. What is going on here? We are at this big trend line, and at any point, this could break to the upside and break out of this area and really get kicked in the butt to move on higher. We were at this support level. That's what this line is here. We're at that support level, and hopefully we can continue that momentum that we got today to the upside. So silver actually looks pretty darn good. If you notice the highs and the lows, they are converging to a point of where we're at. Generally speaking, when that breaks, whichever direction we go, which I'm biased to the upside, I think we could break and move quite rapidly. Platinum also moving higher today. We have broken that downtrend line in the short term, and it looks good to continue higher. There's that trend line that I'm drawing. The platinum looks good, silver looks good, and gold looks good, and they look very good. Just looking at yields moving up the way they did. XAU to gold ratio flat, so gold and silver mining companies kind of going flat to the price of gold and silver. We've got the commodity CRB index going sideways, a little bit down in oil, just a teeny bit, but sideways. Still looks good, and this can rip at any second. A lot of the times you break it, you get a little bit of a return move, and this maybe could be all it musters. Maybe it musters a little bit more. Again, I'm not here to say that I know the absolute path in the short term, but this still looks good to go higher here. CRB to S&P 500 still looking good. Just had a small down day today, but still looks good for an outperformance of commodities in relationship to the S&P 500. GDX up a little bit today. Nothing really to write home about, but we'll see if we can start basing where we're at and see if we can turn this train around. GDX J doing the same thing, up 1.26%, and SILJ being flat on the day. Crude oil down 0.6. Maybe we've got a little bit left to go lower. Maybe we come back to 76, maybe 75. Maybe there's a little bit left. I would view that as a buying opportunity. And then when that holds in that general vicinity, I think we're going to RIP it, rip it. We're going to rip it after this little move is done down to that level. Natural gas looks like it's just moving sideways here. Looks very good. We do have to go through fall, and fall is generally between heating and cooling seasons. So we could hang out, lag a little bit, and then we'll see what happens after fall. If we have a cold winter, we'll see what happens this winter. It's tough to predict exactly what's going to occur. We could see pretty big natural gas movements this winter if it's a cold winter. XOP right underneath that resistance line. We're up a little bit, 0.11. We're right underneath that neckline of the inverted head and shoulders. Then it's boom. It is boom when we get an alignment of oil moving higher and the equities. I think people are positioning in the equities right now. That's why we're up on a down day. OIH is another area to be looking at. This is the energy service sector. And again, this looks absolutely fantastic for a continued move to the upside. We are sitting on top of support right here, right now. We had a little down day. It's a little bloody nose, and I do think it will continue higher when oil wants to re-engage. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust up 1%, 1870. We're starting to move away from that 1815 level. This is where things get fun. You've heard me say this before. We need to break this resistance line and hold above it. We are breaking through that resistance line. We're probably going to hold above it. And we could run here at some point, any point. Could we get a return move? Yes, we could. We could come back. We could do some moving back and forth. We could also not have anything and we just rip. It is possible. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the short term is going to hold, but everything that it looks like right now looks very bullish for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust to continue higher. And so does a lot of the equities. So looking at the equities like URA, I've got the plane up there. We were flying today up 3.35%. It likes what it's seeing in that Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. We are breaking through these trend line resistance lines. We just broke through it today. We could get moving here very quickly if the markets want to push it. Again, I don't know the near term, but everything that I see, ultra bullish. Uranium up 4.24%. And we've broken out of any way that you can draw this trend line. We've got a nice big bullish engulfing yesterday and a continuation move today. Looks very strong. You should already be positioned. That's what we're talking about on the website and the community. Already be positioned. We buy patterns. We don't buy FOMO price movements. URNJ, big move. We're sitting in it. We're locked and loaded. Let it make us money. Tan still down. What's going on? I think people are losing a little bit of interest in renewables, not the reason that this is down. We still have this side, looks like this side. It is still in play. It is not invalidated. We're coming on back. We could very well touch the $50 level, which is a possibility. But everything is still looking to be okay. COPX up 1.4%. Again, we're in this channel going back and forth. I think copper, and we'll look at the copper price here in a little bit, and we can see what copper's doing. But overall, guys, this is in a generally good location to be looking to purchase on this double bottom. It breaks that double bottom, and then it does a retest. There's your buy point there. We are still at a very close level where it may retest again, which would give us more buy points before a takeoff. Lithium, firming up today, up 1.32%. We're still in this pattern. Pattern's extended. Good spot to be looking, right where it's at. REMX also turning around. We're still in this big pattern. Hasn't broken yet. Still a good spot to be looking. Maybe sprinkle. SPX, the overall S&P 500 up today. It's not a reversal candlestick or anything like that. We'll have to see where it goes. NASDAQ, same thing. Up today, despite yields rocketing to the upside, this is not a reversal candlestick in here. So again, I'm going to wait and see what happens here. I'm not doing anything with these, even though I don't do anything. I just stick with commodities right now. EEM, strong yields, flat dollar, flat EEM for the most part. But I do think that emerging markets is a really good location right where it's at. Very good looking for a long-term entry point. XHB, the home builders, with those yields rocketing on up, a little bit of selling pressure today. It's going to take some time for this to base out. I'm pretty much disinterested in the short term of this just because of all the momentum that's come. So it's probably going to have to base out for a little while. Moving sideways on support. There's your support level, and we're getting a little bit of support right where we're at. Copper flat. We're coming up against this resistance line. Are we going to roll over, or are we going to punch on through? We'll find out probably in the next couple of weeks. Iron ore remaining quite resilient. We're underneath the resistance line. There's your resistance line that I'm talking about on a falling wedge. The 3-hump falling wedge. We are ready to break at any second to the upside. That's going to help the dry bulk shipping companies when iron ore breaks to the upside. Nickel heading higher, but again, we've had some pretty good strong selling pressure. It's probably going to base out, and we are at a rough support level right where we're at. Aluminum up 0.27%. Looks like we're trying to put in a little base here. We've got support there from before. Let me look back here. We've got other support levels down here as well, going backwards. So we do have a support level that runs across there. But overall, uranium's looking like it's trying to put in a turning candlestick, which is a bullish hammer candlestick right here where we could turn and move on up. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit, but again, I think we're going to go higher. Falling wedge, this thing could just get unleashed if iron ore decides to really take off. This is a falling wedge, just like iron ore has. Breakout, retest, boom, should be going. Newcastle coal, I do like it down here. I think it looks fantastic, and I think a lot of the charts in the coal companies don't look too bad. So natural gas and coal, they do have a relationship with each other. And natural gas is firming up. I think coal will firm up too at some point, which we're seeing. Bitcoin down a little bit. I wouldn't touch this. There's a lot of momentum behind this move, guys. Boom. So I'm not touching anything here. Same with Ethereum. There's your breakout down. This could very well be a continuation pattern to the downside. I'm not touching it. I probably wouldn't even touch it with your money. But that's what we've got for today. I would definitely say, without a doubt, that uranium looks undeniably the strongest sector of all the sectors. Oil still looks good. We may pull back a little bit more in the short term, but oil looks really good in terms of a medium to longer term outlook. Energy services looks good. Anything energy related looks pretty good. Silver is also firming up. We'll see if that momentum can continue. If we can break through that downtrend line, slice it like a hot knife through butter, that's going to look really good. So we've got a lot of positive developments, but undeniably, uranium looks the strongest at the moment. Give me a thumbs up for the content, subscribe to the channel. If you guys need any help with anything, check out finding-value.com. I know a lot about the individual uranium companies. If you want to go on there, you can see my portfolio. We talked a lot about uranium this last question and answer session, and a lot about the companies and my opinions around it, and where uranium might potentially go in the future. And you can view that. It's uploaded on the website if you want to view that as well. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.